for as long as we can remember. Society has taught us that youth is the pinnacle of life. We're told that our 20s and 30s are the so-called golden years, the time to build a career, start a family, gather achievements, and prove ourselves to the world. But what if all of that is only the rehearsal? Carl Jung, one of the greatest psychologists of the 20th century, once said something that sounds almost provocative. Life really begins at 40. Everything before that, he believed, is just preparation. At first, this idea might feel strange, even uncomfortable. Yet if we pause and look deeper, it begins to make profound sense. The phase of preparation, the laboratory of youth. Before 40, our life feels like a constant process of trial and error. Jung called this the research phase. It's a time of exploration, learning, and adaptation. During these years, we build what Jung described as a persona, the social mask we were to fit in to earn approval and to navigate the expectations of family, teachers, and society. Think about it. A young man might pursue a prestigious career path, not because he truly loves it, but because it's what his parents expected. A woman might remain in a relationship that doesn't fulfill her, simply because it's the right thing to do in the eyes of others. Many people chase after wealth, status, or academic titles, only to realize later that none of these bring lasting fulfillment. This persona is not bad. It's a survival tool, a necessary mask that helps us grow, succeed, and find our place in the world. But here's the problem. It isn't who we truly are, the hidden emptiness behind success. That's why so many people, by their late 30s, discover a strange emptiness creeping in. Outwardly, they may have everything: a stable career, a family, financial security, social recognition. But inwardly, something feels out of alignment. This is not failure. It's a natural and necessary part of human development. It's life itself whispering that following someone else's script is not enough, that we were not born just to perform a role, but to live out our authentic story. The awakening at 40, a turning point. Something shifts as we approach 40. Priorities begin to rearrange themselves. The desire to impress others, to meet external expectations, slowly loses power, and in its place arises a deeper longing for authenticity, meaning, and genuine fulfillment. It's not that the years before were wasted. On the contrary, everything you experience, your struggles, triumphs, even your failures, were the foundation for this new stage. Imagine being an actor in a play. Up until now, you've been rehearsing lines written by other people. But now, at 40, the curtain rises for the real performance, the one where you finally get to write your own script and step into the role you were meant to play. Backed by science, changes in the brain. This is not just philosophy. Neuroscience confirms that during midlife, the brain undergoes profound changes. Emotional regulation improves, self-awareness deepens, and we become less reactive and more reflective. In simple terms, at 40, the mind is better equipped to handle challenges with wisdom rather than impulse. Nature itself seems to have designed this stage as the perfect moment for transformation, meeting the shadow. But transformation doesn't come without challenge. Jung spoke of the shadow, the parts of ourselves we hide, repress, or deny. The shadow includes fears we've ignored, desires we've buried, dreams we've abandoned, weaknesses we've been too ashamed to admit. In youth, ignoring the shadow can feel necessary for survival, but by 40, the shadow demands to be acknowledged. Perhaps it's the unfulfilled dream of becoming an artist. Perhaps it's the longing for genuine intimacy. Or maybe it's a recognition that you've been living too long by the expectations of others instead of your own truth. Facing the shadow is never easy. But Jung believed it is essential because only by confronting these hidden parts can we finally feel free and whole. Individuation, becoming whole. This journey of integration is what Jung called individuation. The process of uniting all aspects of yourself, both the light and the shadow, the conscious and the unconscious. Individuation does not mean destroying everything you built. It means reevaluating. It means asking, are my goals truly mine? Do my choices reflect my deepest values or just the voices of others? This reflection can lead to major decisions, a career change, ending a relationship that no longer makes sense, returning to a long-lost passion, or simply choosing to spend more time on what truly brings joy. The point is not to live for others, but to live for yourself, authentically, not selfishly. Transformation, big shifts and small steps. Transformation doesn't always mean dramatic life changes. Sometimes it begins with small, simple steps, setting boundaries and learning to say no, picking up a forgotten hobby, having an honest conversation you've been avoiding, or allow yourself to rest without guilt. Of course, there are also stories of big, bold transformations. People who leave corporate jobs at 40 to start businesses, go back to school, become writers, musicians, or painters. People who decide to travel the world or finally invest in meaningful relationships. The common thread is always the same: courage. The courage to listen to the inner voice and realign life with authenticity. A new beginning, not the end. Reaching 40 is not the end of the road. It's a new beginning. It's a point where you carry the wisdom of experience, but also the clarity to choose differently. The key is not perfection, but wholeness. It's about embracing every chapter of your story, your victories and your mistakes, and using them as building blocks to create a life that feels real. This journey doesn't have to be walked alone. Therapy, meaningful friendships, spiritual practices, or moments of deep reflection can all support the process. Most importantly, trust that the best is yet to come. At 40, life does not end, it expands. It gains depth, authenticity, and true meaning, because living fully is not about becoming perfect. It's about becoming whole. And perhaps, just perhaps, it's at 40 that we finally begin to live, not for the world's expectations, but for our own truth. If this message resonated with you, don't let it end here. Join us at the Healing Vibe for more reflections, insights, and stories that inspire transformation and healing. Subscribe, stay connected, and remember, you are only just beginning